Good morning. Happy Wednesday. All right, today we are converting metric units of mass. And our essential question is, how can I use measurement conversions to solve real-world problems? We talked about mass actually in science a little bit before we left. We talked about mass is how much matter an object has. So there's three main metric units of mass. There's a kilogram, which is about the size of a loaf of bread. There's a gram, which is about the size of a paperclip. And there's a milligram, which is a bread crumb. So think about the conversions. There are 1,000 breadcrumbs in a paperclip. And there are 1,000 paperclips in a loaf of bread. Now, for the sake of our math problems today, you're actually also going to need to know that there are 1,000,000 milligrams in a loaf of bread. So there's 1,000,000 of these in here. So 1,000 in here, 1,000 in here, and 1,000,000 of these in here. Okay, so what I would encourage you to do is take a piece of paper, which I have here, and write down those three measurements that I gave you. There's 1,000 milligrams in a gram, 1,000 grams in a kilogram, and 1,000,000 milligrams in a kilogram. Okay, so that you have those handy. Now, back to our page. A white-tailed deer has a mass of 136 kilograms. That's a pretty big guy, right? 136 loaves of bread. What is the mass of the deer in grams? So you need to convert 136 kilograms to grams. 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. So you're going to multiply, horse to fly, multiply, fly to horse, divide, of course. You're going to multiply 136 by 1,000. Now, we know when multiplying by a 10, 100, or 1,000, you keep your base number, 136, and you just add your zeros. So 1,000 has 3 zeros. So 136 with 3 zeros is 136,000. So right here, 136,000, the mass is 136,000 grams. You can use division to check your answer. Is 136,000 divided by 1,000 136? Yes, it is. Okay, so 136,000 here. Here, let me pop these on. There you go. All right, next page. Convert 1,500 grams to kilograms. All right, let me grab my pencil here. So we're going to divide 1,500 divided by 1,000. Well, what times 1,000 gets you closest to 1,500 without going over? We know 1 times 1,000 is 1,000, but 2 times 1,000 is 2,000. That went over. So the answer is 1. And then we're going to write our 1,000 in here in order to subtract. Sorry, those are thousands. That one kind of looks like a 6, but you know, I'm writing with a computer. Okay. So when we subtract, we have 500 left over. Think about 500 in relation to 1,000. 500 is half of 1,000, right? 500, 1,000, 500 is half because 2 500s make 1,000. Okay. So the remainder, 500, means there are 500 grams left over. The decimal part of a kilogram is half, 0.5. So 1,500 grams would be 1 kilogram and 500 grams, or 1.5 kilograms, which could be 1.5 or 1.5. Okay? Did you get all that? Because this is a really little space to write. So the remainder, 500, means there are 500 grams left over. The decimal part is half. So 1,500 is 1 kilogram, 500 grams, or 1.5. Okay. Now, complete, and they have told you what to do for each problem. So this should be fairly easy. 5,000 milligrams is how many grams? What is 5,000 divided by 1,000? So when you are dividing by with zeros, they cancel each other out. with multiplying zeros, you add them, but with division, you can just get rid of them. So this one cancels this one cancels this one, and this one cancels this one. And what do we have left? We have 5 divided by 1, which we know is 5. So 5,000 milligrams is 5 grams, okay? Now, 5 kilograms is how many grams? So 5 times 1,000. Multiply 5 times 1, 5, and add your zeros. How many do we have? We have 3. So this would be 5,000. So they just want you to rewrite it right here. 4,000 grams is how many kilograms? Again, when you're dividing, you can just knock those zeros out. So there's 3 here. There's 3 here. We end up with 4 divided by 1, which is 4. So 4,000 is 4 kilograms. Last one, 9 grams is how many milligrams? 9 times 1,000. 9 times 1 is 9. With 3 zeros, 9,000. All right. Next page, page 873. Now, they've decided to make this a little bit more difficult for you. They want you to figure it out yourself. So we have 2,000 milligrams, and over on my piece of paper, I'm going to write, because I don't have the ability to write it quite like you do under here. So I'm going to just write it on another sheet of paper, and I'm going to show you. So 2,000 milligrams is how many grams? Now here are my cheats up here, which aren't cheats. They're called tools. We call those tools. They're not cheats. So if 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams, how many is 2,000 milligrams? So we're going to divide 2,000 divided by 1,000. So, and what do we have left? 2. So 2 grams is 2,000 milligrams, which that would make sense if 1 gram is 1,000. All right, looking at the next one. We have 80 grams is how many milligrams? Back to our paper. 80 grams is how many, here we are. 80 grams is how many milligrams? Well, if 1 is 1,000, how many is 80? If 1 is 1,000, 2 is 2,000, 3 is 3,000, 4 is 4,000, 5 is 5,000. We're multiplying, right? So 80 multiplied by 1,000, we kept our base number here, and we added our 3 zeros, 80,000. These are pretty easy, aren't they? Please say yes. Please say yes. Please. Okay, just kidding. Okay, now they're like, those were easy here. Watch this. I'm going to give you a decimal because I know how great decimals are and how easy decimals are. So I'm going to trick you. And we're like, no, you're not. Okay. 0.75 kilograms is how many milligrams? So back to our paper. 0.75 kilograms, here we are, is how many milligrams? Now, we are going from killa, big loaf of bread, to milla, tiny piece of bread crumb, okay? Big to small, horse to fly, multiply. So we're going to multiply 0.75 times that big number. That's 1,000,000. So remember, you just add your zeros, but when you have a decimal, you move your decimal. How many places? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's write it so we can see it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do we do in these holes? We add zeros. What is our final number? 7, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. With 4 zeros is 750,000. Oh, that wasn't very hard, was it? No. Okay. I feel like I've gotten you on a pretty good start on this page. So please do the rest of this page and let me know if you have any trouble, or let Miss Morgan know if you have any trouble if you're in her class. But again, it's pretty simple because you're just dealing with zeros. You're just adding and subtracting zeros. All right. Have a great day.